Welcome to the Rotary Club of Edina. I'm your host, Josh Sprague, proud president of the #1 club in the universe. I'd like to extend a special welcome to all the guests and visiting Rotarians from many countries who are here with us today. We are people of action, touched and inspired to action by human suffering and need. We share our stories with other people of action, and together create lasting change in our communities and world. There are so many examples of inspired people combining with Rotary to create impactful and life-changing projects. For example, last week we hosted the human trafficking workshop that close to 200 people attended, with over 27 Rotary clubs represented. It all started because our co-chairs saw the human element of the human trafficking issue and were moved to action, and our club responded. Please stand up, Human Trafficking Committee, so we can recognize you. Please stand. Renee, Bonnie, Scott Blake, John Barnett. Are you here, Johnny? Okay. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. In 2008, past President Wooge, oh my gosh, come on. Past President Wooge, thank you, ran across a YouTube video of a young four-fingered Korean pianist named Hia Lee and worked tirelessly to sponsor her trip and performances here in Minnesota in order to inspire another young disabled artist. In 2007, while touring a sanitation project in the slums of Nairobi, Kenya, past President and past District Governor Sandy Schley met a young man named Moses and couldn't get this young child with crossed eyes out of her head. When she returned in 2008, she saw him again and carried his story back to our club, where fellow Rotarian Dr. Charles Bearer suggested that if Sandy could fly Moses back to Minnesota, he would arrange for corrective eye surgery to be performed at his practice. In 2009, Moses came here and the surgery took place. And in 2017, I attended a water mission trip through my church, St. Patrick's of Edina, where we delivered water filters to the remote mountainous region of Coban. I was so moved by my experience and the people of Guatemala. I thought our club should be involved with this, and our members need to see this for themselves in the flesh. 2 years later, in April of 2019, 27 Rotarians and guests from 6 area clubs traveled to Guatemala to assemble and deliver 659 water filtration units to the people of Coban. During this trip, we got to visit the Escuintla Global Grant Water Project and the Escuintla National Hospital. And all of these Rotarians were so moved by the experience that, well, we're going to go back again and do more. So, one common element in all these projects was the financial support of our membership through the Edina Rotary Foundation. And guess what? In just over a week, our club will hold its annual fundraiser and gala to raise money for our foundation. On this one night, we will raise all the money necessary to make everything service-related happen in our club for the entire year. Our gala co-chairs have planned an absolutely exceptional evening for our members, including free valet parking, a VIP party for premium sponsors, and first-class entertainment from the Edina Performing Arts Department. Our members have been scrambling week after week, month after month, to try to get on this A-list performing arts team, but only a few have made the final cut. With that in mind, let's take a look at our last round of tryouts for this year's gala and see if anyone else has the moxie and the talent to make the All-Star Performing Arts team.
All right, good morning, choir. Hey, last night I was thinking, let's do something different this year. What if we have some members from the Edina Rotary Club join one of our choirs? What do you think?
Yes, that's such a good idea.
So maybe let's have some of them come in, sing for us, and you guys can be the judges.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, what is your name?
I'm Mary from Edina Rotary.
My country 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Matt Bookmeyer.
Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring.
All right, choir, what do you think? Are they in or are they out?
In.
All right, congratulations! Yeah!
Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom ring.
And now, I'd like to thank today's volunteers who helped make this meeting possible, and invite past President John Barnett to come to the podium and lead us in the invocation, Pledge of Allegiance, and four-way test. John?
Please stand. Thanks, Josh. Please bow your heads with me for prayer. In prayer. Heavenly Father, thanks for the friendship we share as Rotarians. Thanks for the abundance you've blessed us with, for this food, for clean water that we enjoy as part of our normal routine. Give us the strength and wisdom to use the gifts you've given us to benefit others. Help us to live out our motto, service above self. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. First,
Is it the truth?
is it fair to all concerned?
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thanks. You may be seated.
Hi, everybody, and good afternoon. We have lots of guests today, and as usual, a jam-packed schedule, so I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. First, we have two clubs from India, and they're going to be doing a flag exchange for us, or with us as well. So please, and bear with me, I hope I'm going to say these names halfway close. Sandine and Rasheen. And then we also have Pondu.
Would you like to say a few words?
Hello. I'm Sandeep, and she is my wife Rashmi. We both are Rotarians, and we are from India, Mumbai. Our club name is Mumbai Western Elite. It's 4-year-old club, and we have 240 members in our club. And my wife Rashmi, she is also having her own project in Rotary, which is in the name of Saral, and she will give you some detailed information about that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rashmi Halalka here from Mumbai, India. Our club name is Rotary Club of Mumbai Western Elite. I run the project by the name Saral. It's basically a project, a sanitation project. Like we go to the rural areas and the urban areas and we help the needy girls and the women by providing them free sanitation. It's a sanitary napkin which is reusable sanitary napkins. Like it works for 6 to 7 months. You can wash that sanitary napkins and you can reuse it again. It's 100% hygienic and 100% biodegradable. So till the date we have done almost 50 projects in all over India, covering the rural and the tribal areas. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Jennifer Henderson. Here you go. Want to take a picture? Go ahead. Go ahead. No, we'll let her take one. We'll get it to you. There we go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Fondue.
Yeah. Fondue here.
First of all, I'm going to give a bouquet to our beloved president, Josh Sprague.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Respected President Josh Sprague and beloved brothers and sisters Rotarians, I am Pandu from Pandruti, Tamil Nadu, India. I am the district co-chair Polio Fund of 2981 district, RI district. There are 200 countries in the world. Angola, Azerbaijan, America, Ireland, Argentina, Andorra, Afghanistan, Antigua and Barbuda, Austria, Australia, Italy, India, Ilangai, Israel, Iran, Iraq, Equatorial Guinea, Ukraine, Uganda, Uruguay, Uzbekistan, Egypt, Ethiopia, Eritrea, El Salvador, Estonia, Aikia Arab Emirates, Ivory Coast, Iceland, Oman, Qatar, Cambodia, Guyana, Canada, Kazakhstan, Congo Democratic, Congo Republic, Gabon, Gambia, Cameroon, Comoros, Ghana, Cuba, Kyrgyzstan, Kiribati, Greece, Canada, Guinea-Bissau, Croatia, Kuwait, Kenya, Cape Verde, Korea, South Korea, North Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Samoa, Sahrawi Arab Emirates, Zambia, Solomon Tீவுகள், Salvador Principe, San Marino, Singapore, Zimbabwe, Sierra Leone, Syria, Chile, China, Hong Kong, Suriname, Swaziland, Switzerland, Sweden, Sudan, Czech Kudiarası, Senegal, Saint Kitts and Nevis, Saint Vincent, Seychelles, Cyprus, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, Trinidad and Tobago, Denmark, Dominican Kudiarası, Dominica, Dongo, Thailand, Tanzania, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Turkey, Cyprus, Tunisia, Taiwan, Africa, Namibia, Norway, Nicaragua, New Zealand, Netherlands, Nepal, Niger, Nigeria, Nauru, Bangladesh, Paraguay, Bulgaria, Palau, Pakistan, Papua New Guinea, France, Britain. There are so many countries in the world.
There are.
200 countries in the world. One of the cleanest countries in the world. I like the president, secretary, and members of the Rotary Club of Edina. I like very much. I am the district polio fund. If all eradication, polio eradication efforts we closed, there are 200 children like that.
We have to move on.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. So I cut short my speech. Then thank you very much.
We have to move on. Thank you. I can do that list. I do that when I wake up in the morning.
Okay.
Smile, boys,
Thank you. Continue.
Thank you. And while there might be too many countries in the world, we might have too many guests today to do this properly. So I'm going to try to do this really quickly. Would the visiting Rotarians from other clubs please stand up? Don Stiles, Carrie Hoschbach, Glenna Glover, John Crudell, Jennifer Loon, Val Burke, and John Kaufman.
Welcome.
Then from our own clubs, Jennifer Hendrickson, I think you have a guest today.
Robin and I met earlier this winter. I'll let her tell you guys who she's with.
Sure. Well, thanks for having me here today. My name's Robin Peranto, and as Jennifer mentioned, we met at a Mentoring Monday event. I work for St. Michel Wine Estates, and I run the state of Minnesota, so overseeing wine distribution to get into all of our restaurants and liquor stores in Minnesota. So look forward to meeting everybody.
Gary Pedersen, I think you have a guest.
I have two guests today. The first one I'll introduce is someone that everybody I think knows. Greg Yock is my guest. Hey, Greg! And then stand up, Rolando. I'd like to introduce the host club president for Escuintla, Guatemala, Rolando Morales, who has been instrumental in supporting our project in Colonial Monterrey. So he's been our contact on the ground and has helped make our project come to fruition. And many of you have been there to see it, and you know what the need is, and we're going to have an opportunity to talk about more about that in the hospital here shortly. I'd like to exchange a flag with Rolando and give him an Edina flag, and I think you have one for me or not?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And then I just want you to say a couple words.
It's not just a couple of words. 2 minutes, please. Okay. I need my cell phone to say the words. I come here to United States because I want to say thank you to Edina Club. But then I realized that thank you is not enough word to express what I want to express. So I try to use Google to traduce exactly what I want to say. And it says, good afternoon. For me, it's an honor to represent all my hometown people, you know, and say thank you so much. As I say, I realized that saying thank you was not enough. I thought that I could tell you that you give us good water. Then I realized that you didn't just good water. You give us the opportunity to break the circle of poverty. Carrying drinking water is carrying prevents medicines. No more gastroenteritis disease. No more children missing schools because this disease. No more family leaders missing their jobs. With that we achieve productive members who can use the money we not use in medicine to improve their quality of life. But most important, you give us the opportunity to save lives. Thank you so much.
You guys, I got the dreaded hook from Josh, so thank you to all the other guests that are here. And maybe you just stand up quick and bow, and we'll give you a clap.
Welcome. One more comment.
I'm sorry. And as a Rotary group, we sent to a little town in Guatemala, who is in Santiago Atitlan, to make these two. It's not a little flag because I know two presidents. So please, Josh, please come here and Gary. This is our no little flag to exchange to you. It's a flag represents all the children. You're getting a big smile, a big opportunity. This is painting of copy painting. We have an artist who do this. This is the only artist in Santiago Atitlan who can do that. It's Rotary or Escuintla. And all the child represents all the child you save lives. Thank you so much. And this is the coffee.
Coffee. Thank you so much. Great to have you. I'm going to need that coffee later. Okay, Joe Christensen.
I have 60 seconds and they're burning.
Merry Christmas, everybody. It's not Christmas, but it's time to talk about the Peterson Family Christmas Show. It's December 14th, that's a Saturday, 8 o'clock at the Hopkins Center for the Performing Arts. And we have, and Paul Peterson's here. And those of you, we've had Rotary groups go to this event for the last couple, 3 years, and it's a great event. For those of you who've been there, you know what I'm talking about. And we have a Rotary block of tickets reserved for our group. They're discounted price, and they're available by contacting the box office at the Hopkins Center for the Performing Arts. The information is in the Barker, and you should have also received an email about it. If you have any questions, get a hold of me. I'd be happy to answer them. But the reserve tickets are held for us till October 12th. So you need to get in there and get your tickets, because it's a first come, first served thing, and once they're gone, they're gone. So get your tickets and get ready for the Christmas show. Thanks.
All right, I will, in the interest of time, I'll forego running around with the flag that Josh has on. All right. Our annual fundraiser is such an important event for our club and the Edina Rotary Foundation. And I know for me it's something I look forward to every year, and every year it seems to get better. While we all have great fun and fellowship, it's the money we raise that is the real purpose of the event. Money that is put to use locally and internationally by the club in so meaningful ways, and things that we've heard about even today, and helps further our mission of service above self. Every year we have sponsors of our annual fundraiser, and these sponsorships help us achieve the incredible results we see year over year. These sponsorships can bring 50 to 60% of the total dollars raised. We have a handful of sponsors who over the years have cumulatively contributed in excess of $20,000, and as a group, $206,000. President Sprague felt that we should recognize these Rotarians for their remarkable generosity as major donors to the Edina Rotary Foundation, and today we'd like to recognize Bill McCreevy, Ed Padilla, Tim Murphy, Joel Jennings, yours truly, and Scott Tankinoff. Some of these folks weren't able to be here. Tim wasn't here. His son Rick is here with us. Here's a little slide that just kind of shows you, the kind of generosity that's been given to the club, and again, how meaningful it is to our fundraiser. So on behalf of our club and the Edina Rotary Foundation, we want to thank you for your generosity and commitment to our club, to Rotary, and our mission of service above self. And in recognition of all you've done, we'd like to give you a blanket, which I'll give it to you in a second, with a special Rotary label, including the words service above self. And we want to thank you again for all you do, for making the Rotary Club of Edina so special. And I asked Bill McCreevy just to say a couple words of why giving to Rotary is so important.
A couple words, promise. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for your financial gifts, Paul. I will be brief. And I just want to say there's so many reasons why my family and I give to Rotary. And the reality of it is that when we walk on this earth, it's a short period of time, and you're sometimes going to do some things that if you have a carbon footprint that you leave behind, you just want to make sure that there's a lot of good things that you do as you go along. And one of the small things that, fighting the clock, I know, that I'd like to share with you is that I'm very blessed to be, there's a small group of people here that go on a ski trip every year. Paul and I are roommates. Yes, we share a room, we share a bathroom. I sleep on the right, Paul sleeps on the left. But let me be clear, they're twin beds. And we have a saying, if you talk too long, you call blackjack. And so before he calls blackjack, I'm out. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. Hey. You ready to party? We got a gala coming. Yeah. Woo. That's entertainment. It's a week from this Saturday. So a couple reminders. We are still collecting RSVPs. And you can provide those today, go online, whatever. We're closing them out soon. So get your tickets now. Yeah, a little reminder there. And then next slide, please. Where is it? Doubletree by Hilton in Bloomington, the old former Radisson South. And that's a little arrow we didn't zoom it in too well, Josh, but yeah, he's highlighting with green the building. Okay, so that's where we're going to be, 6:30, Saturday the 5th. Moving on with slides. What are we going to be doing there? Well, one of the fun things we're going to be doing is a heads and tails game that Jennifer Hendrickson and Jody Kern have put together. Our MC is Mark Arnold from the Morning Club, from Continental Diamond, and they have donated as our prize for this one game, this beautiful Raymond Weil Tocata Quartz 29mm watch, yellow gold, so on and so on. $1,095 value. So buy your necklaces from Jennifer during the reception time. We also have silent auction items, and Heather is here to talk a couple highlights.
So get ready to bid when you arrive at the hotel. We have some featured items. We were generously donated by excuse me, Dale Carnegie, an $8,000 worth leadership training package that will be part of our silent auction. We also have 2 airline round-trip tickets donated by Delta to anywhere in the continental USA. We also have 2 coveted, very hard to come by tickets to the Seth Meyers show. So be prepared to vote or bid on those items. Good luck, guys.
Yeah, just want to reinforce what Katie said. Get your RSVPs in as soon as you possibly can. This is an event not to miss. We have entertainment that it'll just blow you away. So you'll see our Edina kids doing their best, and it's a chance, one chance in a very long time to do it. So please get in there and get that in. And just to reinforce what she said, we've got the DoubleTree to open up the east entrance so that we can have ballet in that. That's normally not an entrance that people enter from. So come in from the east entrance in the ballet area to join us at the event.
Very much.
It's now my pleasure to introduce Shelley Loberg, who will bring us today's program. Shelley joined the club in May of 2015 and was sponsored by past president Brad the Closer Hepp. Shelley's classification is tourism, and she works as marketing director for the Edina Tourism Bureau, also known as Explore Edina. Shelley has been International Service Director for 3 years, a term and a half, and has executed a number of high-profile international global projects from Guatemala to South Africa. Shelley traveled with us on our international global project in Guatemala last spring, where she assembled and delivered water filtration units to local villages, participated in the ribbon cutting for our global grant water project in Escuintla, and visited the largest pediatric center in the country at Escuintla Regional Hospital. In just a couple of weeks on October 10th, Shelley and fellow committee member Dan Mott will be recognized by One Village Partners with the Changing Lives Award for their dedication to humanitarian service. Shelley lives across the Great Divide in Egan and has 2 sons, Dane, 20, and Evan, 17. Please help me welcome my friend and fellow Rotarian, Shelley Loberg.
That was very nice, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my distinct honor today to introduce 2 very special people to you. Doctors Willy Menendez and Sofia Posadas from the Regional Hospital in Escuintla, Guatemala. Willy has served as the Chief of Pediatrics at this hospital for 33 years, and Sofia, his wife, currently serves as the Chief of the Pediatric Nutritional Recovery Program, and she has served at the hospital for 10 years. The 2 were married in December of 2015 and are the parents of 4-year-old twins, Jorge and Andres. I met Willy and Sofia on our trip to Guatemala the day we were in Escuintla visiting our well project in Colonia Monterrey, and I was immediately and very deeply touched by their dedication to their parents and the community that they serve. This hospital serves not only the community of Escuintla, but the outer line area, and the population that the hospital serves is around 800,000 people. And in some hospitals in Guatemala, if you don't live within a certain geographic area, you can be turned away. This hospital takes everyone and believes that everyone has a right to be treated humanely and receive medical treatment. They have worked tirelessly to significantly reduce the mortality rate in the pediatric department of their hospital. and have proudly built, Sofia and I were just talking about this before, it took 10 years to make this dream a reality, but they have built the largest pediatric and neonatal intensive care unit in all of Central America. You guys should be really proud of that. It's amazing. They're remarkable human beings. I am blown away by how hard they work and how big that their hearts are. And they work day to day with very little sleep and very little resources to help them. And I admire them greatly. I count you both as my friends, and I'm so privileged to introduce you today and to have you here at our club. So please, everyone, help give me a very warm welcome to Willy and Sofia.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Shelley, for the introduction. It's kind of overwhelming, and I'm sorry for my tears. They're exciting tears. Well, I'm gonna speak a little bit about our hospital. It's located in the south region of Guatemala. It's 1 hour and a half from Guatemala City. It's called National Hospital of Escuintla. It's mostly a general hospital. We receive adults and pediatric patients. We are dedicated to the pediatrics department. Willy is the chief of the pediatrics department and the sub-chief of the pediatrics department. Also, we take charge of the program residency training in our hospital. And this is a little bit of a history. Imagine a crib. It makes us happy and joyful when we think about a baby, and it's a very nice crib. But now imagine it's empty, and that was our history 10 years ago. Our mortality rate was very high. We were almost 80% of mortality in that moment, and it was very frustrating and overwhelming to return to a family an empty crib. It's devastating for a parent, a mother and father, to have an empty crib like this one without a healthy baby. So we started this journey with my husband, and we said, let's change the history and let's try every day. It took us 10 years of fighting and all the, I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous, but everything went bad for us. Everything was bad news for us. And sometimes it was hard to even get up and go to work because it was very overwhelming to see the mortality rate has higher and higher and higher as the days come by. But we said, no, this has to be a God purpose. We have to still fighting, because if we don't fight, who else will be fighting for the kids? So this is our main goal, to return a healthy baby to the families. And mostly our mortality rate is very high because we are fighting nosocomial infections that are infections inside our hospital. The kids came sick and ill, but the infections that they acquire inside the hospital are very high. Water contamination is very big problem for us. 2 weeks ago, my husband had a little cut inside the hospital, and he normally scrubbed like a normal injury, but his finger was very infected, and the surgeons told him he might lose his finger. So the injury was very bad, and we isolate and culture the infection, and it was E. coli inside the hospital. When we scrub our hands to attend the kids and to operate and surgery, imagine the kids having this kind of infection because we don't have enough quality of water. It's so easy to just open the water and wash our hands, but imagine that main problem that we have. It's very bad. So we are very grateful that you are supporting us and helping us. You cannot imagine. People might think it's only water, but water saves lives in our country. Water will save lives. and reduce our mortality. So we have an updated data that I want to share with you. So our PICU patients, PICU means Pediatric Intensive Care Unit. We receive patients from 28 days through 12 years old. And this was the patients admitted at the PICU last year. As you can know, it's a lot of patients we see because as Shelley told you, we receive everyone from all the country, not just the South, because we are an open doors pediatric hospital. And the first semester, you can see it's a very high number of patients. And by this semester, you can compare, our numbers are higher and higher and higher every day that passes by. We have always a percentage of increase because we believe to receive every patient deserves medical attention. So our mortality rate last year was very, very low. 10 years ago, we have a mortality rate of 80% or more. Now we are between 7 and 8, an average of 12 to 15%, that in PICU it's reasonable. We want to drop our mortality rate to 0, and we will still fight for that number, but we consider it's a good number. As you can see, the most important diseases are septic shock, that means infection, and many children get infected inside the hospital, pneumonia, severe head trauma, because we are located in a very trauma frequent region, electrolyte imbalance, and this is because of diarrhea and dehydration. So these two main important diseases are because we don't have water sanitation. This is our total patients of PICU on the 2018. And this is the patients that are seen this semester in the 2019. So it's very, very high. NICU is the neonatal intensive care unit. And we can see it's really high. We receive 35 to 40 births a day. So it's a lot of patients that we receive. And our the main diseases on the NICU, it's newborn pneumonia and prematurity and meconial aspiration syndrome and sepsis. So these two diseases are mainly because of water sanitation. And as you can see, we have a high peak of patients at the NICU. And our mortality rate last year was almost 3%. And as we can see, we are fighting, we are together in this, and service above self is not just because we're Rotarians, but we are humans, and we are very grateful of all your help. And I'm gonna take Willy to say a few words, and thank you for your attention.
Good afternoon. I want to try to speak English with you. It's an honor for me, for my wife and son, to be here. First of all, I have to say thank you very much. God bless you, everyone. This is Hospital Escuintla, is the pediatric department. We thought 10 years ago, this is a way in Guatemala City, when they built this way, they got a lot of space. They could build a biggest one, but they got a mistake. Right now, it's impossible to drive there. We thought a different for the new PICU and NICU because we got space for only 6 babies. We had to spend 300%. This is the ER in that time, 10 years ago. This in 2019 is over here is the shock room, 2008. We accepted the babies, 3 babies at the same time is arrived with the ER, but the rescue equipment. This is the NICU, the old NICU. We had to work this one when the mortality was over 80%. We have to put in some kind of like ambulance to send to Guatemala City 2 hours far away. All of them, almost 90% of them, dead in the way. We say that at that time, we have to change this one. This is our NICU. At that time, we had to work together with the babies in the line waiting for wash their body. Pediatrics ward we got a space for 40 babies inside, malnourished babies. Remember, in Guatemala City, the children under 5 years old, 55% they got malnourished. They got immunologist troubles. This is the wards. The pediatrics conference, we start to work with this one. At that time, right now, this is our conference room. This is the first gift God bless us in that time. When all of you arrive at the hospital, it's like angels represent all of you because encourage us to continue working so hard. Because I thought in that time, I think right now with my wife, if these people spend your time in us, in our children, we have to work so hard. Rehabilitation from we started in 2016. We are looking for special companies to help us to rebuild, to change, to make a change with the pediatrics rooms. In PQ, we started mine 34 years ago. We started with the idea 2009. This is all PQ. It's the resident of USA arrived to Guatemala at the time. It continued this time. This is the all PQ for 6 babies is together to each other, is closer to each other, is more contamination, more nosocomial infection disease. I killed in another hospital. I picked out these 2 pair of mechanical ventilator. I tried to use twice as a one. And with this start to save life with my wife in that time. Her trauma is common. Sofia started with treatment for troubles with kidneys. First peritoneal dialysis we started 10 years ago. This is our old PQ. This is progressive. The progressive had to be for 3 years. I built this one before to start to build the new PQ and new NICU. This is with the doctors as a handheld ventilation because we only had 1 or 2. We had to choose between 6 babies, which one was the worst, for the purpose of saying at least 1. We continue with doctors, with students, the 5 degree or 6 degree. We try to help the babies. We have to looking for some help. In this time, we allowed all the people stay behind her son, her daughter, because this encouraged 2 babies to feel better to go out and get the life. This is the first monitor. We have to choose 1 baby for 1 monitor because only 1. We have to choose between 6. Which one is the worst? This is one. I prefer this one. Never. I think I like God, but we have to take a decision at that time. The new PQ January 2, we started 2015. We have to planning with the doctor PQ, with the Dr. Mac, is encouraged us to working together with us. We plan design, graphic design. I start to dream. We dream to get the best PQ for our children in Escuintla Hospital. This start to build. We start to build all by donation. The minister accepted finally to build because he's waiting for the equipment, and after that he promised me, I'm gonna build you the PQ. Doesn't matter. We're looking for the equipment. Finally, thanks God, we found. This is the Carolina, North Carolina is working with us, a partnership with the Residents Exchange right now. Is working with us, the donation, but Heinemann Foundation for the equipment. The donation start together with the principal doctor. We start to download the containers to save the equipment, looking for sources to pay for taxes in sometimes. We have to raise, to sell food, a lot of things. We are working together, not as a doctor. We're looking for stored equipment, but our dream continue alive. The equipment, second container, with the student, third container, finally the fourth container, and the Rotary Club pay for our taxes because we didn't have money to pay that. Because the taxes, the government said we had to pay taxes. Why? It's incredible, but we have to look for some help for the people. And Rotary helped us since that time. Rolando was a great friend, a great help for us. Rolando has been working with us together, hand by hand. This is finally medical education. We started progressive as a PQ. We start with knowledge, improve our knowledge, teaching to the resident, to the student, to save the life when they are alone in the different places in Guatemala City. This is our team. Right now we are 32 residents in pediatrics program at university. This is people help us to teach our nurseries to get the information about the mechanical ventilation. Is the people who you say the Living Children Hospital teaching our nurseries to continue learning about the rescue of the babies, because it's not technology. The Dr. Robichek start to work together with us. They believe in us because in Guatemala all is trouble 10 years ago. The equipment installation, the voluntary engineers arrived at the hospital because he asking me for a engineer, medical engineer. I'm sorry, I don't have. They are working with the Living Children Hospital. They start to come into Guatemala to exchange the information, exchange the experience, to partnership with the Living Children Hospital. And this is a different team resident. Finally, the final day, one day before to open, we were working, washing the hands, washing the floor. Finally, at the midnight, we finished. 6 hours late, we open with the president in Guatemala right now. This is the president right now. And I told him, no president, thanks God, because all of this is real. PQ is started in this form. We got 6 babies right now, 18 babies, with all the equipment necessary to save the life. The mortality decreased 85% to 11% the last month. We asked today in the morning, August was 11%. This is PQ. Everything started with a dream, with idea. We pregnant about this idea, and we believe God He will be with us. This is the doctors working as workers in the hospital, clean the equipment, clean the walls, wash the windows, working together, hand by hand. This area was before the color place that you saw before, the service of us all. Thank you, every one of you, because all of you encourage us to continue working. Thank you because you will be real. The project, the save the life. Thank you, everyone. God bless you.
Okay, we're going to have some questions for you. Have a seat. So first of all, I have to flesh out this story because this is absolutely mind-boggling. The number of patients and beds you have in the hospital a day is approximately how many?
We have, let's say, 50 patients in one wards. And in PQ we got 18 babies. In NICU we got 18 babies. And in pediatrics 20 babies. And dermatology pediatrics 20 babies too.
Okay, and the number of pediatric emergency room clients you see per month is 12 to 1,500, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, the number of births per month is?
35 to 40 per day.
So about how many? Over 2,000 a month?
Over 2,000 a month.
Okay, and for the audience to understand who hasn't been at this hospital, the PQ and the NICU, the intensive care units, are actually the smallest parts of the hospital. There's the emergency room entrance, and then there's all the patient beds and everything else. How do you get patients up to the PQ NICU? Can you tell us about that?
Well, it's really hard for us because the elevators are not working and our critical care units are on the 3rd floor. So we have to carry the patients on the stairs, and labor ladies and newborn babies, everyone has to be carried on our arms and in tables.
And it's a little trouble because we got with patient with intubated with mechanical ventilation. We had to in the steps to the 3rd floor. Another trouble is all the hospital around the Escuintla, maybe 50 miles far away around. They send us as soon as they know we got the best in PQ and NICU. They send a lot of babies almost there, and we don't have an ambulance. As ambulance is a car with seats. The patient should be sit lying the floor to translate to each other hospital, and we are looking for that because we expect to looking for the patient in different hospital and pick up them, bring to the hospital in a better condition. The last 2 Fridays ago, we start with a special program with the paramedics, with the purpose of teach them in the next 3 months and start to share information, like you say, but by phone, by video conference, like on the purpose of that support, to give support the patient in the way, in the accident place, with the purpose of save more lives. It's a big project for us.
And just to clarify, you are open to the entire country of Guatemala. All 16 million people are eligible to come to your hospital, correct?
Yes, it's a very, very huge city and a small hospital, but we are considered one of the 3 major hospitals in Guatemala. It's 1.5 hours from Guatemala City, so we receive from all the country. Sometimes it takes 12, 14 hours driving in an ambulance to get in, but we are an open door hospital for everyone.
And the equipment in the hospital maintenance, the mechanical systems, utilities like electrical, water, none of that is funded by the government.
No, we receive donations, mostly medical equipment that it's used but in good conditions, and we restore it, and we have technicians that made the maintenance for the equipment.
Yes, and another, for example, we got a head trauma. It's common to see because it's common in Guatemala that people is driving motorcycle, 5, 6 people in one motorcycle, and the head trauma is common. And we don't need CT scan, MRIs. We have to expect at least 1 week after the baby is a little stable to send 1 hour or half an hour far away to move with the mechanical ventilation, help ventilation to check the X-rays, no X-rays, to CT scan and MRIs, for the purpose of change the treatment or give some surgery that maybe the patient needs.
Another part of the story you should hear. Dr. Menendez worked at this hospital. First of all, Rolando, he just left. There you are. Rolando's father actually opened this hospital and was the first one to struggle through these incredible odds with patients at 80% mortality. 80% mortality means 80% of the people admitted to the hospital are dying. So then after that, in 1985, he was there for 24 years by himself. 24 years with an 80% mortality rate. Hung in there and fought to keep a new resident, and that new resident was Sofia. And that's how they started to team up together. But 24 years, think about that, on your own against the odds. Do you have a question, John?
What's the water situation at the hospital currently?
Well, we don't have enough water supply. We have 2 wells, but it doesn't work 24/7. And we have to start the water pumps for 20 minutes, and then they have to rest 2 or 3 hours. So we save the water supply for the critical care units and ORs. Mostly the rest of the hospital doesn't have water supply all day.
Yes, the principle how to take a decision, for example, 2 hours, 1 hour for the PQ and NICU, the rest of the hospital have to wait because is more important than patient in NICU and PICU or a NICU in adult intensive care. They have to take a decision to close the keys for some special areas shared during the 24 hours, part to part, because we don't have enough. We have 2 walls, but as Sofia said, is working with 20 minutes. They have to wait at least 2 or 3 hours to start working again, and the water doesn't clean. My finger is the witness of that, and the baby with this we got mortality from nosocomial infection disease yet.
Doctor, I was one of the Rotarians that went down and visited you earlier this spring. So we saw your hospital and your presentation to us at that time. You are doing great work.
Thank you.
So congratulations and thank you very much for that. Your patients, I'm sure, are very appreciative. In terms of the water, talk a little bit about what you need in terms of addressing your water needs at the hospital, which we saw firsthand, where the need here is incredible. And I would point out, when we were in Guatemala, we heard Guatemala's population, the country has a population of some 17 million perhaps.
Yes.
And the land area of Guatemala is a fraction of the land area of the state of Minnesota, perhaps a third. So you have roughly 3 times the number of people that live in Minnesota living on 1/3 of the land. So it's a very dense population. They're serving a lot of people there, and as I say, the need is enormous. So if you could talk about what you need in terms of your clean water.
Okay, really, right now we get 2 wells, but around the hospital we get at least 800 to 1,000 houses with septic tank. Our well is deep 150 feet. The first test that they got at the water was E. coli, and they said we have to drill deeper, 500 feet, with the purpose of avoid this contamination. And 250 deeps, we don't have enough water, maybe 20%, because we got 20,000 gallons a day for the NICU and PICU, and the special area for wash the equipment. And it isn't enough. These 2 wells, we have to drill one well more, but deeper, 500 feet, with the purpose of get the better condition of the water, the purified water later. But yesterday and today we were talking about the first step is to purify the water with the purpose of avoid this kind of infection. But the water isn't enough right now. Whilst we are with this water, we can continue with that infection disease, with a nosocomial infection disease. We got the equipment, we got the doctors, the nursery, but if we don't get enough water and purified water, we can decrease more mortality in our hospital. It's important both projects to purify water and to drill another well, because it's important with the purpose to reach at least 80% of the need we needed the water. Right now it's maybe 25%.
I was deeply moved by what you have done. Congratulations for your achievements. I was born in South Korea. When I was born, the mortality rate was very high. So even my own parents and grandparents decided not to report my birth. They wanted to wait for at least like a few months to see whether I am still alive. So I have 2 birthdays. But that's not only me. A lot of kids born in Korea around the time I did, they have 2 birthdays. So when I was born, it was a very poor country. So eventually the government of South Korea thought maybe we should have insurance. So they introduced this concept called the national insurance. So everybody born in Korea carries insurance. So when they go to a hospital, they pay a very small fee. Basically, the government stands behind every patient. So I want to know whether that will help in your own country. Eventually, you have to graduate from all the donations, you have to charge the patients, they should pay, insurance companies should pay. Thank you.
Thank you. That is very interesting. We are a national public hospital, so we are not allowed to charge any kind of money of patients. It's taken care of by the government. Our budget is very narrow, so we survive for donations, maybe some medical samples sometimes and everything, just because people are very poor and we don't have all the medications, but we are trying to do everything we can.
Yes, the biggest one hospital in downtown Guatemala, they get the budget is 750 million quetzales a year. In Escuintla is 75 million quetzales. It's 10% of the rest. But the government doesn't matter what happened in Escuintla. For this reason, we are looking for help, looking for knocking the door. Every time when someone opens the door, it's a great opportunity to save the lives. We have to continue knocking the door because we can't wait to help the government, because every government in our country is different. They decide, no, we start again. This no matter for me. We start again, no matter it's very good project or something like this. We have to continue working along, looking at supporting by teams, supporting by groups, supporting by family like you.
One more question? We got another question?
Dr. Willy, can you share what the estimated cost is to drill this new well and what the length of time it would take from start to finish?
The total, I don't have it right now, but it's basically it's gonna be in 3 phases. So the first one, it's gonna be to provide a sun spring to the PQ and EQ, and it's gonna start on January 2020. And then in a couple of years, we will finally get water for the entire hospital. It means for the outpatient clinics, ORs, laundry, kitchen, emergencies department, and inpatient wards.
I can talk a little bit about that. John Kaufman, who's here from California, is facilitating that system going in January, and that'll be critical to help the NICU and the PICU. But if you think about what a hospital requires from a water standpoint, it's a tremendous amount. You've got everything from the laundry units, from all the operating rooms, from the ICU units. But more importantly, you've got 35 to 40 births a day. There's mothers sitting in the maternity ward with their babies, unair-conditioned. Guatemala is a hot, humid country, and no fresh water, and even some of the bathroom facilities are really lacking. So, and in terms of the well, we just finished up the well at Colonial Monterrey, and that well ran us about $95,000. But there's a lot of other pieces to the project, so we're not sure what this project will look like totally, but we want to do an assessment that we collaborate with Rolando and his club, and with the hospital and the doctors and the local people to make sure we address the issues that they have, because there are many. I had an opportunity to go down to Guatemala with the Water Mission people about 3 years ago, and that was the first time we were working on the Colonial Monterrey project, and that was the first time that Rolando took us over, and I met Dr. Menendez and Dr. Sofia, and I remember standing out in front of the water tanks, and this was 3 years ago, saying, you know, we need to do something. So we're so grateful that you came today. We're so passionate about helping and being a part of a solution and part of allowing people to live. And so I have to read this off. Rotary is a global network of 1.2 million Rotarians, neighbors, friends, leaders who see the world where people unite and take action and create living conditions for all of us. I thank you from the bottom of our heart for the work that you're doing. You're truly angels doing that work. So thank you so much.
Oh, that one's for you. Thank you.
Here's a quick look at what we have coming up on the Rotary calendar. Next week, it's time to gala, so there's no regular meeting on Thursday. We will plan on seeing all of you at the Doubletree Hotel on Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. for a great night of fun and fellowship. The following week on October 10th, we will have former Google executive and current commissioner for the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, Steve Grove. As we close today's meeting, I'd like to share a quote from Rigoberta Menchú, a Quiché political activist from Guatemala. Rigoberta dedicated her life to publicizing the rights of Guatemala's indigenous feminists during and after the Guatemalan Civil War, and to promoting indigenous rights in the country. She received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1992 and the Prince of Asturias Award in 1998. Rigoberta said, "I am like a drop of water on a rock. After drip, drip, dripping in the same place, I begin to leave a mark, and I leave my mark in many people's hearts." Dr. Willy and Sofia, thank you for leaving a mark on our hearts last May in Escuintla and today here in Edina, and for making the long voyage to America with your children to share your story. It is truly an honor and a privilege to have you with us. And I also want to thank you for this awesome Guatemalan tie. Rolando, thank you for your leadership, for your partnership with our club, and for our dedication to improving the lives and the health of the Escuintla people. To our membership in the Edina Rotary Foundation Board, thank you for supporting our work in Guatemala, your commitment to saving lives there in the past and today as we speak. And finally, John Kaufman, who was mentioned earlier, thank you for sharing with the doctors and others at our meeting this morning the promise of the Sun Spring water filtration purification system and enterprise model. I hope to have you back again to share your story with our entire membership. As you go about your week, remember that together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our community, and in ourselves, as Rotary pursues its mission to connect the world in meaningful ways. Meeting adjourned.